Hey everyone, I'm Kendrick Diaz and you're listening to Verse by Verse. When God was briefing Moses and Aaron on their mission to confront Pharaoh and secure Israel's release, he predicted that Pharaoh would want a sign. So he told them to give him one. This is how the story goes. Exodus chapter 7, beginning in verse 8 from the NIV. Then the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, "When Pharaoh speaks to you, saying, 'Show a miracle for yourselves,' then you shall say to Aaron, 'Take your rod and cast it before Pharaoh, and let it become a serpent.'" So Moses and Aaron went into Pharaoh, and they did so, just as the Lord commanded. Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent. This astonishes me every time I read it, not because I'm surprised by what God can do, but because he gives us a snapshot of his raw power, overriding physical law with effortless authority to underline who he is. But verses 11 through 12 is where I really want to spend some time because the story takes an interesting turn here. Pharaoh then summoned wise men and sorcerers, and the Egyptian magicians, get this, also did the same things by their secret arts. Each one threw down his staff, and it became a snake. I'm going to assume these men weren't just street performers doing a flashy trick for Pharaoh. I don't think this was advanced sleight of hand. I think these sorcerer priests really did copy the miracle. Not by their own power, obviously. I think they were helped by Satan, the devil. Satan has power. He is powerful, and his miracle-working abilities appear, in this isolated instance, to match God's. But verse 12 doesn't end in a draw. God wasn't outclassed by a move he didn't expect and forced into a stalemate. This is how verse 12 ends. But Aaron's staff swallowed up the other staffs. This is the part of the miracle that doesn't seem to catch Pharaoh's or the magician's attention, but I interpret it as God saying, there's only one way this showdown will end. Pharaoh and his court didn't have a clue of who they were dealing with, but they were about to find out. As the story progresses, the magicians replicate 2 more miracles before being left in the dust. God overwhelms the Egyptians. He sends a plague of lice. He strikes them with boils. He marshals an army of locusts to invade the land. He curses the livestock. He rains down hail. He cuts the lights on Egypt and makes the whole place go dark for 3 days straight. Wave after wave of divine catastrophe, each a display of God's power and what he will do to accomplish his purpose. By the end, the magicians concede, Egypt is brought to its knees, and God's plan moves forward. Yes, Satan can do some things, but God has no equal. For the last 6,000 years, Satan has been flexing his power, fueling humanity's aggression toward God and building a world contrary to his design and purpose. His life's mission is to thwart God and push back against his will. But every ounce of strength he musters is ultimately nothing and less than nothing. God will prevail. There's no force in the universe that can oppose what he's determined to bring about. It's Egypt all over again. The showdown only ends one way, with God supreme over all. And God invites us, you and me, to stand with him, to share in the completion of his plan, to join in his triumph over evil, and to inherit an endless future of joy and peace. Satan won't win. He can't win. His power is limited, borrowed, and it's coming to an end. But God and those with him will endure forever.
If you've been enjoying Verse by Verse and want to help the show grow, here's what you can do to get the word out. Wherever you're listening, make sure to subscribe. If you're on a platform that accepts reviews and ratings, those can both make a big difference in helping other people find us. Verse by Verse is a Life, Hope, and Truth podcast. Check out the show notes to find more free content, like videos, articles, and booklets in our Learning Center.